Way now.
Yeah, what we have here is...
Oh, hang on. I haven't said my introduction. So here we are. Yeah. Oh, Jesus, you're a bit fast on the mark. So today we're sitting here and we're talking about a 160-year-old gun, maybe possibly a little bit older. And we've got Hillbilly Collect X here to talk about it once again. And so we're going to get into it, and he's going to start talking. And now he can start talking because I'm just about to sit down because I'm getting a bit tired standing up, and I'm getting a little bit old. So I've just got to sit down on my 200-year-old chair. Okay, so here we go, and now we're into it, and now you can start talking.
Okay, now firstly, do you need a blanket for your knees since you and the chair are the same age?
Oh, well, yeah, we all need that.
Yeah. Okay, well, what we have here is a Patton 1853 Enfield, so called because they were first introduced in 1853. This was the standard main rifle for the British Army through the Crimean War, all around the world, and the Imperial British troops bought them here for the land wars in the 1850s and 60s. An awful lot of them came out here, and a lot of them are still here. It's a 5.77 caliber. It fires that big lead bullet, which weighs 480 grains. It's got a slightly hollow base, so the burning powder would make the lead expand into the rifling.
Yep. You see a lot of these ranges down in New Zealand, and they used to be doing a lot of going and digging up these bullets, and you used to get, back in the days, you used to get about $5 a bullet. I've seen them sell as much as $25, $30 just for one of those bullets, and in some ranges there was thousands of these bullets, and a lot of them in the time they used to, this is what I've just been told over the years, they used to use them as sinkers. So back 70 or 80 years ago, when they started to find out where these ranges were, they dug them all up and used them as sinkers because they are a lead bullet. Carry on.
Yeah, so the soldiers didn't march around with a pocket full of loose bullets. Some clever bugger came up with this idea here. It's basically called a paper cartridge.
Yeah. So this guy made this little paper cartridge, and it's about 2 years old. Obviously, it's just the example of one and how they were made. So it's about 2 hours old, but it's just giving you the example of this how they were designed and made.
So in here is the bullet, similar to the one I just showed you, and the powder. Then these had a wax coating over them, which helped make them waterproof and keep the powder dry, and also so they would slide down the barrel easily. So in use, you tore off the end, poured the powder down the barrel, and then the section with the bullet in was rammed in paper and all. So that made them much, much quicker to load and easy to carry the powder and bullet. This particular example has had a bit of an interesting life. It's obviously been shortened at the muzzle to some degree, and it's had a replacement sight fitted.
Is that because of what the bayonet lugs? It would have had bayonet lugs in its time, and that doesn't fit a bayonet anymore?
No, these never had bayonet bars or lugs. They had a socket bayonet which fitted right over the whole muzzle, and then turned and locked on the block foresight.
This one hasn't got one, or it has got one, or it wouldn't fit one now because it's been shortened?
It wouldn't fit one now.
Yeah, but it'd still have a nice example if you are going to put this in your collection, to put the bayonet underneath it so it displays very well on the wall.
Well, these are a very handsome rifle. They're highly regarded, and one of the nicest wall hangers you can get. As noted, the muzzle's been shortened a bit, and it's got a non-original foresight. The barrel has obviously had some cleaning to the outside. It's probably been very lightly pitted in the past, and someone's lightly cleaned it all. The lock is unmarked, and the most likely reason for that is that it was made by a private contractor. Again, the ones for the British military were made at the Tower of London, and they're usually marked Tower with a crown and dated.
Very similar to that that flintlock that we did before, isn't it?
Very, very similar, yeah. So this one having no marks on, it's highly likely to have been the government let the contract out to a private gun maker. And there are a lot of them that made these guns, and they didn't always put their name on the lock. But it's got official proof marks.
I'm just trying to go in on those. It's a bit hard, but we'll try to get the official proof marks if we can get it into there. But we can see a few little proof marks there with a 25 and a something, maybe 25 and a couple of crown stamps as what's usually on these guns. Right, I'll come back out a bit.
Yep, the 25 means 25 bore.
Oh, yeah, okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, which is 5.77 caliber.
And what are those two nuts on the other side? What are they for?
They go straight through and hold the lock plate on.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, there are no screws on the outside of the lock plate.
I'm learning as we go on these videos as well, because it's good to learn and it's good to see these sort of videos. And I'm learning as he's talking about it as well.
The lock is in really good working condition. Half and full cocks as it should.
What are they? Why have they got half and full cocks?
Well, half cock, you need the hammer out of the way to load it, put a nipple on. And the half cock is a safety. It's almost impossible to pull the trigger and make it come off half cock. You don't want to go off half cocked. When it's loaded and you've got your percussion cap on the nipple, which is a modern replacement, as is the protector.
So that what some collector has put the replacement on there?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the original ones were brass and had a little bit of rubber on them. So yeah, the half cock is a safety. You can put the nipple on. You can't bump them off half cock. And then you draw it to full cock when you're ready to go. Pull the trigger.
But it's got a good spring in it, isn't it? It's got a good spring and it works. Working order and everything of what it should do. Once again, you don't fire these are wall hangers.
Yeah, well, the lock mechanism is doing exactly what it should. Yeah, it's in perfect working order. This one's had a wee bit of a history. The butt has been joined at the wrist. There's some traces of old woodworm here.
I'll just try to bring that in a little bit so we can just sort of see the traces of old woodworm. It's not that bad. It's sort of a bit on this side, and there any here going up the top there. Obviously, the butt might have had a lot more in it, and that's why they're done that to the butt. And Steve's going to talk about that. Oh, sorry, Hillbilly X.
Thank you, Secret Shane. Well, a lot of these, when they were just old guns before they became collectible, they used to sit around in old wash houses out behind the door, out by the old copper or something. And it was nearly always wet, and sometimes they sat on dirt floors. They got damp and the borer got into them. But this is obviously head borer. So the butt may have been, but the original butt may have been basically eaten away. So someone's replaced this section here, joined it here. But I believe it's probably the original butt plate.
I'm just going to bring in that. Yeah, the reason why we think it's original butt plate. I don't know if you want to say this, Hillbilly Collectex or whatever we call you. Yeah, but it is what it is, and it's got NZ stamped on it and a number on it. Most, like Long Toms and everything have got a Canadian contract or something written on it and a broad arrow. This hasn't. This is just a plain NZ stamp with a low serial number on it, which is 4 numbers. And they would have bought over so many of these butt plates during the time of this happening. I believe I'm right, but I'll let Hillbilly X talk about that.
Well, back in these days, there wasn't a central government in New Zealand. Every province had its own government, like the Taranaki provincial government, and they ordered their own firearms. For example, the Taranaki provincial government ordered 101 Colt revolvers around about 1860 to arm the local bush rangers and the Taranaki mounted rifles.
That picture I gave you is a bit of the are they the bush rangers, are they? That one over there, that print that I gave you. as a present.
Yeah, that's Von Tempsky.
Oh, that's Von Kempsky.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, and the Armed Constabulary would have been involved in that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
And the Forest Rangers, which were different to the...
So what year is that sort of print based on? Sorry, we're talking about a bit of a different subject, but we're just going with the flow.
No, but that was one of the campaigns around about 1866.
Well, you want to pass that over there, Collector B, and we're just so we can have a bit of a look at that picture, what we're sort of talking about. Yeah, thank you very much, Collector B. So we've got an old print here. This print is done in 1970, and it's got a print number of 281 out of 500. So we've got Von Tempsky here, have we? Or what is all that thing about, just to get something out of the blue?
Yeah,
what it is?
Well, he's definitely a forest ranger.
Yeah.
One of Von Tempsky's men. Not quite sure if this is meant to be Von Tempsky or perhaps General Shute.
Yeah.
Doing his round the mountain raids.
Yeah. But it's dated what? At some I can't say it. Taranaki in January 1966.
Whenakura River, Taranaki.
Yeah.
1866.
Yeah. So it's quite a cool little picture. It's it's an old print, and there might be only about 20 or 30 of these surviving now out of the 500. But it was given to me, and I thought, what better man to give it to than Hillbilly X. And thank you very much, Collector or Hillbilly B, for showing us that picture, and we're on to where we're at. Okay, thank you very much, because your back's getting a bit sore. Okay. So well, here we go.
Thank you, Shane C. Now I've forgotten where I was up to. It's possibly not got the original.
So now you can't say you weren't in the picture. We saw your hand, so there we go. Yeah.
There are 3 screws here, 2 holding the tang of the trigger guard, and this third one, someone's put a screw in there, but it would have had a sling swivel in there. So the sling, which would have been a white buff leather one, when used by the British military, the sling would have run from here to the one on the centre band here.
Yeah, it's probably worth these slings and these sling swivels are, they're around, and I do get them from time, and I might have one in a box of somewhere of my 45 cubic metres of military shit, but we'll find that at a later date. Okay, so we might have a spare part for that at a later date, but they are around, and you can get them even if you get a sort of a more modern swing to look the part. I would suggest you do it.
Yeah, so that's pretty much it, I think. Yeah, so it's an original 1853 Enfield, almost certainly bought by a New Zealand government, one of the provincial governments, and it's stamped NZ, so it's almost certainly been here since new. Over 170 odd years, it's had a bit of modifying, as a lot of them did. It's had the butt repair, it's had some fine pitting cleaned off the exterior of the barrel, and the muzzle's been shortened a bit for whatever reason.
We just weren't there. We don't know when all these repairs were done, if they were done in the armoury or whatever, because it's, we're talking 170 years old, and there's just no way of knowing. We just weren't there. We're not experts. The people who put this together are the experts, but it's done very well, and this gun will display very well.
Yeah, as I say, it was considered the finest military rifle in the world at the time. It's the one which everybody else's guns were compared to. And I've always thought they're a real great looking gun. If you want a nice wall hanger for not a huge amount of money, this could be it.
Yeah, well, the price of, say, a 303 these days, they're starting to go up. And these you can display on your house. Obviously, you need you're not allowed to carry them in your car. The same with a pistol. You need a licensed person to transport them, and that's just the way it is. But once you've got it at home and you've got it on the wall, it's yours to enjoy. And you don't need a license for it. But if you transport it, you do need a collector or somebody with a license to transport it from A to B.
As far as I know, you can quite legally hang these on your wall. They don't take a current cartridge, and they're not required to be locked up.
Yeah.
The average burglar is not going to have any idea of what to do with it.
And it's recognised, there's not many of them around in this, and it'd be hard for them to move it on, I suppose.
Yeah.
I don't know why we're talking about burglars, but we are. Yeah.
Oh, they're out there.
Yeah. I just want a burglar when I get this money for this gun, and hopefully I do well on it. That's about it. That's it. It's a true Land Wars gun. Probably fought in the Land Wars, and whether the Māoris used it or the British at some stage. Obviously, the British probably used it first, but a lot of the Māoris used to get a hold of these guns, and they used to return fire with them. It's the same as like a tomahawk or anything. These guys ran around like little cowboys and Indians, what they are, what you see in the movies, and that's what Land Wars are all about. Am I correct with saying that?
Pretty much, yeah. The whole thing's very unfortunate, and we all wish it didn't happen, but yeah, men like wolves. And they're still doing it.
And they're still doing it.
Yeah.
But anyway, I think you've done a really good video of this Hillbilly X or Clicked X or whatever we want to call you. Yeah, and this is a gun that deserves to be displayed, and I hope whoever owns it, because we're going to put it on Trade Me today, and hopefully, what more can I say? You enjoy it, and you spend a lot of money on it. Thank you.